for today's class, if you happen to have a block, there are places where we could use the block. These are things like triangle pose and just a couple of variations for us to lift our leg over while we're sitting down. So none of these are absolutely required. So if you don't have a block, don't stress about it. If you do have a block, there's several places where it could be useful today. So you can locate your block, and whenever you get that, let's find our way down onto our backs so that we can start off with some simple breaths. A nice chance to be with the body, breathing in and out. Notice the body already relaxing. If you're like me, you jump up first thing in the morning and you're already doing things, and the list of your to-do stuff is already being checked off. But this is a nice reminder. At this moment, there's nothing else to do than to simply be right here, right now with our bodies. Spending more of our day, more of our time with this quality of presence. You'll start to notice right away the major theme that we're going to be weaving throughout our class today is the theme of triangles. Geometrically, triangles are one of the strongest shapes. If you have simply 2 points, it's easy for a construction piece to fall down because there's no support. If you have 4 sides, like a box, and the corners are not stabilized, you put some weight onto that box and it'll start to shift over. But if you stabilize with triangles, or if you simply use triangles in your design, it's extremely stable. It's a very strong structure. And so we're going to be exploring the strength side of triangles. Some of the poses literally will be strong positions that we're going to take in our body so that we can feel the strength that our body takes to build up these. But you'll also notice other simple triangles throughout our body. It's almost as if the number of limbs, the number of segments we have in our limbs, it's like they're made for triangles. So triangles is our exploration today. And a lot of people take triangles symbolically as well. You see in so many different cultures the power of 3 going on, such as a trinity in Christian religions. I know that somebody got 3 bands for their wedding ring. One represented them, the other represented the husband, and then the third represented for them God, that outside factor that binds the strength together in the marriage. It's not just the husband and wife having to work together. It's that universal force that's working together to strengthen it all. And so as we start to bring our knees into the chest right here, let's begin to think of the triangles and the systems of 3 that we have available for us in our lives. So perhaps it is that husband, wife, and the universe. Maybe that's the factor that you're working with. Even having a child strengthens a relationship in a whole different way. But there's many other kinds of triangles. There tends to be a president and then counselors to help them out. So it's not just a dictator making decisions, but they have the support underneath them. Good. Take one more breath or 2 just to rock around on the hips. And then as we drop our feet down close to the glutes, our hands are resting on the floor, we're going to create our first triangle shape, and this is bridge pose. So inhale, roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. Feel the strongness of this triangle. The floor is supporting you, the feet are supporting us, and then we lift it up high. Roll back down 1 vertebrae at a time. Let's repeat that twice more with a pause at the top, just like we did. Rolling all the way up. A nice inhale, exhale, and roll down. And one more time, perhaps holding a little bit longer for this third one. If you can reach the hands under your back for a clasp, try to walk your shoulders under and feel this extra height, the extra strength that's available when our arms are taking that third angle in our body, giving us a little bit more lift. So one more inhale. Exhale, release hands, release shoulders, roll all the way back down. From here, take the right leg all the way up to the sky. Hands are around the back side of that leg for just a brief breath or two. Feeling the simple stretch. And then we create our next triangle shape by placing the right ankle up onto the left thigh, right knee rotating super wide. This could be a nice place for our right hand to simply press that right thigh open. Or perhaps you're threading your arms around the left thigh, pulling it in, giving a deep hip stretch. This is one of those places where it's like our body is practically made for a triangle. By getting into this shape, we're in such a wonderful deep stretch. So just feel it. Be here for a few breaths. Enjoying how nice the triangle shape is. Enjoy a wonderful breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Release this left leg all the way down to the ground. The right leg stretches back up to the sky as we're clasping our hands around the back side of the leg as high up as we can reach. We see this new triangle formed by our arms, our chest, and then our thigh. So enjoy that new strength, that new length that goes on, helping the body to get into a wonderful deep stretch. Going through just a little bit of strengthening, the left leg comes up, our hands go onto that leg, right leg down. And then switch again, right leg up, left leg down. Taking a few more cycles. Exhale, switch. Exhale, switch. Here is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the left foot up. Plant the right foot back down. This is just the simple stretch, just a good breath or two. Enjoy another breath flowing in, and then take this ankle up onto the right thigh. Listen to the left hip to help us decide what variation we're using here. Are we simply pushing the left hand into that left thigh, or are we threading the arms around the right side? Either way, that left hip gets such a nice chance to open. Enjoy another breath flowing into the body. With our exhale, the right leg releases long to the ground. Left leg stretches up again, nice and high. try to extend the leg longer. What that requires is our quadricep contracting. That helps to lift the knee up, or in this case, lift the knee down toward ground direction. And so that nice engagement there helps to lengthen the hamstring just a little bit more. Take another good breath in. Another exhale. And from here, begin to hover the right toes above the ground again. Taking another few rounds of this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bend the knees in. Let them take a simple twist over to the left side. Imagine our body is still a triangle here. The knees are one point, the hips are another, and the chest is the third. Even envision that the third point is as specific as the right shoulder. Those 3 points are trying to touch the ground, and because of that beautiful lengthening that's going on, we're feeling the wonderful opening through the spine. So take another good breath in. Exhale, the knees come up. We start to twist, taking that same triangle over to the right. The knees are a point on the ground. The hips are another point. And this time, specifically left shoulder, trying to touch down to the ground. Wonderful. As the knees lift back up, twist and let your whole body fall over like a fetal position off to the left side. Slide that left elbow right underneath the body. That helps to prop up the torso. And the legs are going to extend to a long angle. Now your top foot, the left foot plants. It's planting right behind the left knee. So right foot planting behind left knee. From here, this top arm, the right arm, is going to sweep with us. It starts off close to the thigh. As it lifts up, your hips lift up. See all the triangles in this shape. The triangles of the ankle to shoulder to elbow, and also the triangle of that back foot. The hand comes back down, lower back down. Good. Let's repeat that. Going for 5. And down. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Good. Swing the legs around. Now it's going to be the right hip and the right elbow on the bottom. Already this top leg, that left one, can plant behind the other knee. We're setting up that strong triangle shape. That's what gives us something easy to push off of for the lift. Our left hand is close to the thigh as we get started. It circles up like a rainbow, lift the hips. Pause for this first one, just feeling the strength of this pose. Lots of lifting going on. And lowering back down. Lifting up again, 5. And down. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Good job. Let's come all the way up to a seated position. And this is the first place where we can really use our block as an aid to help in strengthening. You'll place the block in front of you if you have it. If not, you can do the same exact motion without that extra lift of the block. So we're sitting up in this wide angle seated place, like staff pose, but the legs are wider. If you need to have your hands behind you to keep sitting up tall, that's fine. Otherwise, you're welcome to kind of just rest your hands at your sides. So we're using the strength of the leg, starting with right leg. We try to lift it up off the ground, hover it over the block, and then set it down to the other side. Lifting back up, go wide. You have the option, if you wish, to increase the height of the block if you want to make it a harder challenge for you. But we're gonna repeat 5 more times with this right leg. So posture's engaged, nice and slow. Lift up and around, up and open. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Take a moment to wiggle the knees out, just giving them a nice, kind little break. Before the second side, we'll take a little break. Left foot slides forward. That right foot that was just working tucks into the left thigh. We've got a new triangle set up. Right with this right knee, going wide and then sliding back in. From here, lift the hands up tall and take a nice forward fold over that straight left leg. Depending on how you're feeling already, perhaps you're gonna grab the block to add even a few extra inches of extension past the foot. Slightly deeper stretch. Okay, let's release. The block gets placed right in front of us. Again, you can choose the small height, medium, or tall. Legs open back up wide. Feel how much happier this right hip is after that little recovery. The strengthening is hard, but that strengthening is required for some of the poses that are coming up in class. Hands are behind you or off to the sides. Posture lifting up tall. Left foot lifts. Goes over and down. And return. Good. Repeating 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Awesome. Take another moment, just lifting up tall. And then second side, right foot slides forward, left foot forms the triangle to the inner thigh. Lift the hands up tall and forward fold. Again, you have the option, if it would be helpful, to bring the block past the foot so that you're having to reach your fingers just a bit further. By the way, if this version is too much, you could also have a different version, sliding the block in, stacking fists, so that your head can actually comfortably rest down. There's all sorts of ways to use blocks. Take another huge breath in. A nice exhale. Wonderful. As we're gently rising up, we're taking this block to the top edge of the mat so it's there if we want it later. And then open the legs back up into this triangle shape. We're spending just a little bit more time for the stretches here. So walk the hands forward and notice both legs getting that inner thigh stretch together. Start to walk both hands toward the right leg, maybe surrounding one hand on each side. And then both hands around the left leg. Walk through the center, staying low the whole time. Good. Walking one more time through the center. Maybe there's an opportunity to walk your fingers just slightly further. Wonderful efforts as we rise all the way up. Take your legs into a simple cross-legged shape. We're planting our right hand to the right, reaching the left hand up and over. This is one of the things that we need to stretch to prepare for triangle pose coming up later in class. Making sure the side body is so open and ready to lean. Take another good breath in. And exhale, lift back up, switching sides out. Last breath for this side. Exhale, rise. Wonderful work. We're ready to come up into our knees. Once you're in this kneeling position, let your breath go a few times, rounding up. And belly drops down, gaze up. Let's repeat 3 more cycles. Good. Spine back to a nice neutral place. Your hands walk forward a full hand width. Press the fingertips down into the ground, every knuckle, every joint pressing to alleviate wrist pressure. And then tuck the toes, lift the hips up to this strong downward dog triangle shape. From here, we shift our triangle into a right angle, coming into plank. You can always drop your knees down if needed. Holding here for a few breaths. And then from here, we're going to lower our knees. Try to lower the chest and lower the chin. The belly and the hips are lifting. Take another good breath in. With our exhale, slide the belly onto the ground. Press into the hands, lifting to as deep of a cobra as feels appropriate right now. You don't have to go to the full thing. Shoulders are still relaxing down. And then let's tuck our toes. We lift our hips back up into that strong triangle shape of down dog. Notice that if you're trying to muscle your way into it, some people look more like this. They're trying to just push into the ground. If you're muscling your way into it, this is going to burn you out quite quickly. But if it's all about stacking the bones, it turns it into a shape where you can hold practically for 5 minutes if you wanted to. Now the flexibility does take time to build up, so no pressure. But eventually, I promise that's something that does begin to happen with our bodies in down dog. Good. Let's take little steps forward. So left foot, right foot, and just continue to repeat. until you find your way up to a nice forward fold up at the top of the mat. Enjoy this length in the body, releasing down. Inhale, slide the hands up the legs, form a triangle. Spine straight, legs straight, arms straight, resting on the thighs. Another inhale. Exhale, slowly slide the hands back down. And feel that release, Uttanasana again, forward fold. With our next inhale, the hands circle through the sides. We stretch up, arch back. And hands gradually make their way down to the heart. Helping our side ribs stretch even further, we're dropping our left hand to the left thigh, circling the right arm up and over, leaning as far as we can. Hips are trying to be one point, and it's as if our toes and that top arm are trying to form the last 2 points of the triangle, 3 distinct points. One more inhale. Exhale, rise up. Drop the right hand to right thigh, circle left hand up and over. Hips push super far over so that we can complete the triangle. Another good inhale. And exhale, rising up. Feel your left foot solidly on the ground. Right foot comes up to tree pose. No matter how high that is, it could be just touching the ground. And notice this triangle. The slight engagement helps the knee continue to rotate open. Feel the solidness of that shape. See if you can lift the right foot away from the left thigh, placing the right ankle onto the left thigh. Bend the standing leg, sitting the hips back. A whole new shift to the triangle. This is similar to what we started with on the ground. Just taking one more good inhale. Exhale, standing back up with the left leg, drop the right foot down. If left foot wants to shake for a moment, that's great. And then whenever it is ready for the tree pose, lift it up to a good standing position. Posture's lengthening nice and tall. Continue to notice the knee rotating outward. Inhale. Exhale, left foot comes away from right thigh. And we try to place the ankle onto the right thigh. Standing leg bends, sitting back. A nice strong position as if we're about to sit into a chair. One more good inhale. Exhale, stand back up. Drop the left foot down. If the right foot wants to shake for a moment, that's great. And then we're back up at the top of our mat. Inhale, the arms float up to the sky, slide arch back. Exhale, beautiful forward fold. Inhale, the hands slide up to that triangle shape. And exhale, hands back down. Just right foot lunges all the way to the back of the mat. And then we drop the back knee down. Notice this triangle. The angles are the floor, the right knee coming up to the left knee. So we have to sink the hips down so it's a straight line. And then the knee down to the ankle. 3 beautiful lines out of this triangle. Perhaps the hands come up to the thigh. Hips pushing forward still, so we still have that solid triangle down. And maybe arms circle up, even leaning back perhaps. Inhale. And exhale, hips shift back. The front leg is straight. We've got a new triangle set up. Drop the hands down. If the floor's too far, you've got that block that you can grab right there. Wonderful. From here, this right leg swings back. We find plank or kneeling plank. Holding here 3 extra breaths. And then shift forward to lower all the way to the ground. A moment with the back bend. And then tucking the back toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. That left leg that we were just working lifts up to the sky. Bring the knee over to the nose, shifting the shoulders over wrists, and then lengthen left leg back up to the sky. Twice more. Knee to nose, and lift. Knee to nose, and lift. Great job. Left foot back to the ground. Little tiny baby steps, working our feet back up to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, sliding the hands up the thighs. Find that strong triangle shape. The more we flatten the low back, the deeper we feel it through the glutes and through the legs. One more inhale here. Exhale, sliding the hands back to the earth. And this time, left foot lunges all the way to the back of the mat. Left knee drops down. We have to form the triangle, so hips need to drop as low as they possibly can. Taking a moment to really set up that flexibility, set up the shape. Perhaps hands can walk up to the thigh if your stability is there for this side. Hips are still sinking forward so you can see that triangle. Maybe the arms float up, it's not required. Another good inhale. Exhale, shift the hips back, the front leg can straighten out. New triangle as the hands drop down. Working the hands back up to the top of the mat, this right foot comes back so that we can lift up into a plank pose. Feel that triangle going on, lots of strength. And rock forward, squeeze the elbows in to lower. Take the back bend of your choice. Maybe it's ready for more depth. Maybe we're still being kind to our low back. Good. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. We're in downward facing dog. Right leg floats up to the sky. Knee to the nose. Twice more. Floating up. And to the nose. And one more time. Knee to nose. Good. Back up to the down dog for just a nice inhale. And exhale. We're taking a nice child pose shape. Let the knees be a little bit wider so that we've already got a triangle shape set up in our child's pose. Arms are welcome to extend forward. If that feels good, resting the hips back, resting forehead down in front of us. Feel the breath cooling and calming, wonderfully slow. After the next exhale, we're going to take plank position again. So hands are planted, lift up the knees. You can always drop them down if needed. Otherwise, let both heels rotate down to the right side. It's like a prep for a side plank. We're feeling our body strong, starting to take over this side position. And then lift the heels back up, drop them over to the left side. A prep for a side plank. Good, lift the heels back up, all the way up into downward facing dog. And walking forward up toward the top of the mat. Beautiful forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, circling the arms to rise up, arch back. And exhale, hands down to the heart. Wonderful. From here, we're going to just simply step this left foot back toward the back of the mat. The toes are tilted forward at a 45-degree angle, and the front toes are all the way up to the top edge of the mat. From this placement, our hips are opening up to the side. The front knee is bent. The arms are opening up. Warrior two. Take a moment to feel this strong shape. And then from here, we drop the right hand down to the block or maybe to the floor and feel this extension of the left fingertips all the way in a straight line from heel to wrist. Next inhale brings us back up to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Now we've got a definite triangle with our legs being formed. So keep the legs locked. I'll even engage my right thigh, that quadricep muscle, to lift the knee up just a little bit. So from that definite straight leg, we lean just the fingertips forward and then rotate. Right finger down, left fingers up. You can use the block if that's there. It can be very helpful. If you're going even higher, go up to the thigh and just find this reaching of the fingertips. These are great shapes. If you've got straight legs, you should definitely be feeling the stretch going on. Beautiful. Lifting back up. Turn both toes open to a nice 45-degree angle. So 45 off to each side. And from here, take a nice forward fold, directly forward. Toes and turn forward. Maybe our hands are on that block. Maybe they're on the floor. Maybe you're grabbing to ankles and pulling in. Bend the knees, roll the spine up, and then we switch the feet out. So left toes to the left edge of the mat, the right toes rotate into 45-degree angle, and first the front knee is bent. Left knee is bent, hips are opening to the side, arms are spreading wide. Feel the inner thighs working, building some extra heat and strength in the body. Side angle pose, maybe using block. We drop the left hand down, block our floor. Keep the shoulders stacked. And this right arm is trying to reach out to a straight angle from the ankle all the way up. And rise. The front leg is straight, engage the quad. Lifting the knee up a little bit, and then just the fingertips lean forward and rotate down. For me, that block is that perfect height. You can also go on shin or thigh. Reach all the way up. Keep the shoulders leaning backwards rather than any sort of curling in of the shoulder. Beautiful. Rising up. Goddess pose for a moment. Take the legs down, find this extra strength. It's almost like the shape of some pyramids when their top is slightly different triangle than the rest of the angle. But feel that wonderful strength. And then turn the toes forward, another nice forward fold. Bend the knees, roll up. Right toes to the right edge of the mat, left toes rotate in to the 45-degree angle. We're set up for the triangle pose, so keep the legs straight, light lifting of the knees, hips are to the side. So from here, arms open, lean to the right, and drop the right hand down, left hand up. Perhaps there's new depth available, going back over to this side. Good, rising up. Rotate the back foot in so that the hips can turn all the way over the front straight leg. Pyramid pose. Keep the hips absolute square to the top edge of the mat as we slide our hands down. Maybe just to the thigh, maybe to the shin, the block, or the floor. Remember again, engage the quadricep muscle that lifts the knee up just a little bit. That's what keeps that front leg straight. And then lastly here, we're taking revolved triangle. If you've got that block, left hand stays on the block. Right arm tries to twist all the way open to the sky. It's like you can feel that pull going all the way from the outer thigh and up. Good, dropping that hand down. Rise back up to stand, rotate our way to the other side. So left toes are pointing to the left edge of the mat, that long edge. Scoot the right heel in, 45-degree angle. Legs are straight. Our hips are open to the long side edge of the mat. Arms open, lean to the left, and drop left hand down. Good. Rising up. Turn the right toes in all the way so that hips can be squared to this top left edge of the mat. And from here, keeping the hips square as we travel down, we start to bend forward, sliding hands down to thigh, shin, block, or floor. Remember, once again, engage the quad, lift the knee up a little bit. We're not pushing it backwards, but we do have that light engagement, that lift going on. Spine going a little bit longer, leave the right hand on the block, or floor or shin, whatever you've got available. Left hand starts to lengthen all the way to the sky. Another inhale, and exhale, drop the hand down. We rise up to stand. We can set the block off to the side. Stepping back up to the top edge of the mat. Inhale, circle the arms to the side, circle up, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, feel the triangle, long straight angles, and exhale, forward fold. Step walker, jump to plank. Maybe go straight to down dog or take the flow here. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. We all end up in downward facing dog. Right leg floats up to the sky. Bring the right knee to try to touch the right arm. Lift it back up. Right knee to try to touch the nose. Lift it back up. Right knee to try to touch the left arm and pause. From this angle, straighten that right leg underneath to the left side and try to float the left fingertips up to the sky. It's a fallen triangle pose. Good. Drop the left hand down, float the right leg back up to the sky. When you drop the right foot to the ground, drop both heels to the left side and see if you can take a full side plank, right hand lifting up. Good, right hand down, hips back up, left side, left leg floats, knee to the left tricep, and up, knee to the nose, and up, knee under to the right, hold, extend the leg underneath to the right, and maybe right hand lifts, this fallen triangle pose. Good, right hand down, lift left leg back up to the sky, left toes to the ground, both heels rotate to the right, side plank, left hand lifting. Beautiful. Plant the hand down, downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up to the sky. Twist it under and through to the left. Extend that leg to the left. Left hand up to the sky one last time. Left hand down. And then from here, try to lower the side of that right hip down. So we're in that same fallen triangle. And then we completely collapse the hip down to the ground. From here, we're going to continue to rotate the torso toward the top edge of the mat. And we're seeing if we can drop down onto elbows. Finding this wonderful twisted shape in the body. The legs forming a very strong triangle shape. You should be feeling the IT band. Our weight is directly onto it, giving it a massage, but also this side lift should be helping it. If you don't feel that side of the IT band part of it, you've got a few options. Either continue to scoot that right foot higher and higher up, or take a block under that right foot, and that little lift sometimes can do wonders for getting into the IT band. Whatever you need to do to feel it, keep on adjusting, and then we're breathing. This is the point where we're gradually starting to slow down, cool down the body. We've done a lot of long and strong work with our triangles today. Take another inhale. And exhale, start to bend this knee. Bring your hips up and over so that we can lift up for that last side downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up high. Left leg floats. Left knee under toward the right side. Extend the leg off that side of the mat. Right hand tries to float for just a moment. And then when it comes down, we lower this hip down to the ground, completely letting that triangle fall. Same variation, so if you're feeling it already, simply drop down to the elbows. If you need that block, set it under the foot or continue to scoot the foot higher. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, release off the block. We're swinging both legs out in front of us. Bring this left foot down all the way in front of us, crossed in. Cradle out the right side for just a moment, getting into that hip one more time. And then try to stack this right shin directly on top of the left shin. That forms a wonderful triangle shape. Obviously, if this is not working in the hips, go to simple cross-legged instead. Either way, start to walk the fingertips forward. Rising back up, right foot goes down. You cradle out the left and rock the hip out a few times. Drop this shin down on top of the other. Posture tall. Any adjustments you need to make are fine, and then we walk forward. Wonderful efforts. Rising back up. We lower down onto our spine. Sliding hands to plant right by the hips. Take one last bridge pose, rolling all the way up. And all the way down. Bring the knees into the chest. And then let them fall over to the left. Just a slightly deeper triangle than earlier today, by the knees starting deeper inward. Knees start to come all the way back up, and then they fall over to the left. Okay, when the knees come back up, you've got a few special options for Shavasana. If you wish, I'll give you these one by one and just choose what feels best. Option one, simply keep the feet planted and let the knees fall into one another. That's a strong triangle shape that's very comforting for our low back. Option two, from bridge pose, you can slide the block under the hips so that you have this fun lifted version for Shavasana. Option three, cobbler's pose, forming that kind of a triangle in the legs, knees opening wide. And option four, if none of those sound good, take your nice Shavasana just like normal. So play with this pose. What version of triangle or not triangle feels best in the body? And then when you get settled into that shape, begin this wonderful process of simply breathing, relaxing, and being. Begin to deepen the inhales and the exhales. Introducing little movements back to the fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Gradually heading out of whatever shape we took for our Shavasana and lengthening our body as if we're waking up first thing in the morning. At some point, you're welcome to take a nice fetal position off to one side. And enjoy a few extra breaths, helping the body feel calm and relaxed and present. Whenever you're ready to rise up to a comfortable seated position, begin to make your way here. Joining hands together in front of the heart. We think in our minds of our personal triangle that we've got set up for ourselves. Us and who are our two supports that we use and that we can come to at any point of stress in our lives. So with this triangle of strength, with this simple idea to lead us onward, let's wrap up the time we got to share together with the sound of Om. Inhaling now. Om. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.